David Gable writes, what's your favorite time period to see in film?
Today. I'll be honest with you, I'm a sucker for period pieces of all types and of all kinds, but my preference is to see movies in the modern world, in my context that I live in.
I like the Roman era. I want to see more.
Roman era is great.
I'd like to see some more. I want to see some, like, the sandals and all that. What's the swords and sandals genre? When they're done really well, they're phenomenal, and there's been too many crap pieces that take people away from it. But I think that I'd like to see more in that era.
As an Italian, I fully agree with you.
Thank you.
I like the dystopian futures of the science fiction worlds of the future.
Hey, Watto?
Gotta bring me my croissants. I need a wet croissant right now.
Public credits.
Now he's an Italian Watto of some sort.
Spanish. What are you talking about? I want my croissant.
That's my grandmother right there. That's my nonna
my
right
French
there.
croissant.
All right, what's next?
Michael Sanders writes, would you like to see a Johnny Bravo live action film?
Oh, yes. I think this actually came up maybe last week. I absolutely would. And I want to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing him. I mean, he's a guy, actually, we mentioned this, friends of ours, their brother is the creator of Johnny Bravo. Leo, and I forget Leo's brother's name.
I forget his name too.
But for some friends of ours, their brother's the creator of Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo is a really funny character. And if you look up any clips, if you're not familiar with Johnny Bravo, look up some of the cartoon clips online, and then you'll totally see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing that role. I'm telling you.
Was there talk about that as well, too?
I think there was at some point.
There was talk at some point with him.
John Cena should play him.
Which is,
come on.
I don't know enough about it, but I'll look at some of those clips up.
All right, what's next?
Jordan Anderson writes, any news on the future of the Final Destination movies?
If I'm remembering right, and I might not be, but I think I remember there was another one in motion. This is going back a couple of years now. There was another one in motion, and then it got pulled off the tracks. So
how many have they made so far?
I think they made 6 or 7. I gotta admit, I like the last one they did.
They're all fun dumbs. They're just like, don't get on that plane, don't get in that car. Weird spikes going through heads, people getting killed, waking up from dreams.
Well, they were at least creative in the last one, the way that they ended it.
Yeah. So I would be up for another one. But from what I know, there are no plans currently off the top of my head. If you know different, please jump in the comments section and leave a link to some information if you have some.
Someone should write semi-final destination.
Semi-final destination. All right, what's next?
Abbytalaberates writes, how does a theater know what percentage of men/women went to watch a film? When is this information collected?
It's probably collected right there at the theater. They're probably sending census people into different theaters, take counts and stuff like that. It's probably just no more high tech than that.
Right. By the chips that are already in our bodies.
Although they do have sensors, like especially when you look at like things like the AMC Prime, which have these new like boombox seats. They put in a lot of sensors in seats to detect testicles, and then they feed that information and say, hey, 45% of our seats today have testicles. So. That's not true, by the way, for any of you who happen to be taking me seriously, just in case.
Wow, this feels weird.
Is this one of those testicle seats? I'm not sure.
It's like Vincent Price, the Tingler.
Yeah. Right. Do you have any non-testicle seats?
Okay, what's next?
All right, Jack Stone writes, what's your take on Tales from the Crypt TV series getting rebooted by M. Night Shyamalan without the Crypt Keeper?
Oh, without the Crypt Keeper?
I know, right?
Boo.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sean?
When I first heard M. Night Shyamalan's name and that there was no Crypt Keeper, I was like, so they're just going to make the Twilight Zone and call it Tales from the Crypt. Yeah. It better be horror, is all I could say. If it's going to be just like lukewarm. I feel like because Black Mirror was such a success that now there's going to be a lot of emulations happening, and they're just going to, I don't know. Tales from the Crypt really feels like it should have the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing an updated version of it, just make it creepier.
Right.
I don't know. I'm taking a wait and see attitude, but I'm less excited about it than when I first heard about it.
I'll wait and see what you think, and I still won't watch it.
I will wait and see, and then I'll still won't care. So, all right, what's next?
All right, Evan Ryan writes, if Deadpool is successful, will we see a trilogy?
Oh, if it's successful, you're going to see more than a trilogy.
Yeah.
Look, if Fox can sit back and say, wait, we spent $40 million on this and made $300 million, oh yeah, you bet your ass. They're going to be in production the next morning. Yeah. They will absolutely be in production the next morning. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, the next morning.
Literally the next morning.
No, I agree.
We don't have script yet. Doesn't matter. Just start.
Reynolds, don't take
swearing.
that suit off.
Right.
Yeah, it's literally get over here.
All right, what's next?
Stuart Smith writes, what do you guys think of the idea that Van Wilder is the college days prequel to Deadpool?
It's not a bad theory. I haven't thought of Van Wilder in a long time.
Van Wilder was fun. That broke him into superstardom, but that won't happen.
No, of course.
I'd rather have it the waiting than when that waiting.
The waiting. That's who it is.
Although if there's a
really
joke in
film.
Deadpool where he's sitting with some guy and saying, you know, it reminds me of this time when I used to own this pizza shop with, that would be that callback would be hilarious. All right, what's next?
Joshua Howell writes, do we really need a Creed sequel? Creed felt to me like the perfect send-off for Rocky and the whole story.
Absolutely, we need a Creed sequel.
Okay, I'll say this. Do we need a Creed sequel? No. You don't need any movie. No movie is needed. Is there an audience for it that wants it? And is there a good story to tell? And the answer to both of those answers clearly on Creed is yes.
I think that's what it is. I think the question is more of, is there more story to tell of Creed? Isn't it?
Without giving anything away, if you saw the ending of Creed, you know there's more story to tell.
I think that's where I, from what I got from that question, is like, isn't the story done? It certainly isn't done. There's so much more to do, and you could have said the same thing about Rocky 1 and Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 proved that there was a lot of story to tell with Rocky, and I think there's just as many stories to tell with Creed.
Which Rocky had the robot in it?
4.
Okay. Happy birthday,
Happy
Paulie.
birthday, Paulie.
That's right. Of course, there's lots of room for Creed 2 and 3, and if they keep doing a good job with it, then it definitely has an audience. So,
all right, 2 more questions.
All right, Jose writes, who is the biggest actor and actress box office draw?
Well, I mean, if you want to go by statistics, and I'm surprised we didn't cover this. Harrison Ford is now officially the #1 box office actor of all time. His movies have now made like $4.8 billion, passing Samuel L. Jackson, who was it? But now Samuel L. Jackson, as Dennis will be quick to point out, was always a bit of a mirage because a lot of the movies Samuel L. Jackson gets those box office numbers accredited for are not his movies. Like, yeah, he's in Jurassic Park. And I liked him in Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. I mean, I liked him in Jurassic Park. But that's not his movie, but all the box office got added to his thing. I still don't know what I think about him as Mace Windu, but he's in the Star Wars prequels, but are those box office dollars really because he was in the Star Wars prequels?
this party's over.
Right.
No, but his thing. Harrison Ford, on the other hand, is pretty much the lead actor in just about every film he's in. So, I mean, this is really legitimately him. So if you want to go all time, if you're going to ask the question about current, who's the biggest box office draw right now? We're in an age right now where name does not necessarily equal big box office draw, no matter what cast you put together or who's in it. I would probably say, I mean, I might have said Robert Downey Jr. if it wasn't for the Judge, because that proved
Tom Cruise.
I was going to say Tom Cruise is probably the best.
He's the one
best draw right now.
and he had a couple of misses a little bit, but then got back up and showed that he can open a film.
See, the thing, why Tom Cruise I get because you look at what Mission Impossible does, but I think Mission Impossible, the brand so far has helped. I got to go Leonardo DiCaprio. Because Leonardo DiCaprio,
that's a good one too.
Very good one. You look at a movie like The Revenant. That movie without Leonardo DiCaprio does not have that kind of opening in the beginning. It just I don't.
Yeah, but he's got hit and misses too. Great Gatsby, big bomb.
Sure. I mean, but there were a lot of actors. So does Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise got a lot of misses as well too. But I think Leonardo, because I'm with you guys that we are not in the age of the movie star opening a movie. The director opens the movie sometimes more than even the actor does at this point. But it's more about the genre and whatever the actual material is. But Leonardo DiCaprio is a guy that people expect quality, and if he has the right scenario behind him, like The Revenant, would look pretty fascinating. I think people didn't care about Great Gatsby at all, but him in a role like that will get people in the theater.
Or more so, him teamed up with a great director. It's like, but him leading it. Like I think if him and Tom Cruise are the two that really pop off.
If they announce tomorrow that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be the new cinematic version of the Green Arrow, that would just destroy. Yeah. That would destroy the box office.
He stayed away from those films though too, because he was up for a superhero movie. He was supposed to. He was offered Anakin. He was up. He was. They asked. Right. That's the one. And then he was offered Anakin Skywalker, and he wasn't. He didn't think his career was ready for it at that time. Now, whether or not he wants to do anything like that now, who knows? He gets offers for it every 10 minutes.
Sure. I actually love all the movies he always takes. So I think he's a really smart actor. So.
All right. Mark Ellis is quietly trying to come in the back, but we see him.
Yep. Hey, Contra Club's over there. It's not over here right now.
You're never going to let him go in then, are you? All right, last question of the day.
He's just chugging
his looking at you like Tyson against Spinks in '86.
All right, what's next? Last question of the day.
Justin Ward writes, when do you think the superhero genre will phase out?
Never. Look, we've said, I have been hearing for 10 years now about how any minute now people are going to get tired of the superhero genre. We've been hearing that for 10 years. Look, as long as the movies keep coming out and as long as they're good and people are appreciating them, they're going to keep going. How long has the cop genre been going?
Right.
Forever. I mean, it will take, look, but everything in Hollywood, goes in circles and cycles. Everything does. What it'll take is what killed the superhero genre before. It's going to take a couple of real couple of high-profile stinkers in a row that will start to temper it a bit, and then it'll come back again later. But right now, look, what was the last? Well, Fantastic Four, that's one.
Right. One out of, and the other three were big hits.
But the next one coming out is Deadpool. It's going to be a big hit. Right. Then Batman vs Superman, that's going to be a big hit. And then
Civil
War's coming out, and that's going to be a big hit. And so the clock's reset again. So it's going to be a while.
I gotta say, imagine 2016 Deadpool bombs, Batman v Superman bombs. And then Civil War bomb. All three of these movies bomb. Like they make $7.
That will temporarily kill the genre.
But all these other movies that are in production will still come out in 2017. Right. And the other three movies, like 5 movies that are coming out still this year that are superhero genre, could then all still be big hits. Doctor Strange could be a monster hit. All these other films that are coming out at the end of the year. I'm just saying, even these 3, but you would see a slowdown. But there's so many films that are in production that people are like, well, these didn't hit, these didn't connect, but these other 5 could. It would have to be a series of films that slowed down and dwindled the box office, and that's not gonna. I don't see that happening for another 10 years. I mean, people have been doomsaying the superhero genre since 2002. Yeah. Oh, after the Spider-Man movie, I think it's all over. And then even comic book writers.
We just had X-Men.
I know. I'm so tired of this, people running around in spandex. I remember being at Comic-Con and talking with friends who were like saying some of these big writers, big comic book writers, it's all over in 2005. After this happens, it's all over. So people love to say something is over, even while it's in its heyday. So enjoy the heyday, the golden dawn that we're in of superhero films. It's not going anywhere for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because like you guys said, it has become its own genre, and because there's been enough successful films to continue the genre. Like, you're going to have some stinkers like Fantastic Four and some other movies that will, I mean, some people didn't love Iron Man 2, and there will be movies that won't satisfy the comic book fans' desire, and even the casual movie fan. Like, there'll be certain ones that they pick and choose. Like, a lot, I think that a movie like Civil War is going to get both sides. You're going to get the comic book crazies, and you're going to get the superhero movie fans, and you get the regular fans as well. Deadpool, I think, is going to be a lot of. I don't agree that it's going to make $100 million opening weekend. I think that's a smaller movie opening weekend. I think it's going to do well, but I think that the sequel will get more of the casual people in there. But the movies will continue to do well because they're changing it up. And as long as Marvel and we don't know yet how DC will fare in this whole thing, but as long as they're keeping their team together and not getting greedy in the way that they're just pushing material, and they're telling their story and they're furthering their story, it's going to be around for a long time.
Now, keep this in mind too, though. One of the reasons that the superhero genre right now is thriving so well is because one superhero movie is not just like the next. It's like the whole thing where somebody might say they're all the same. They're radically different. The Avengers is radically different than Man of Steel, which was radically different from Captain America Winter Soldier, which was radically different from Ant-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which was radically different from Guardians of the Galaxy. They are within the genre now. The genre's matured to the point now that the genre itself is diversifying a lot. So you get one film is a heist film. One film is like a 70s political thriller.
They put a genre inside a genre, which is
which they really have. And so this genre itself is diversifying. It's not enough that you go into, and Doctor Strange is going to be different than any of them too. So now you go into a comic book movie now, you don't necessarily know what you're getting. So that's just going to add to the longevity of the genre.
I was going to say, I mean, I think so many people love to complain and they're doomsayers about stuff. Like this year of 2015, I saw so many incredible films that had nothing to do with superheroes. I saw Trumbo. I saw Diary of a Teenage Girl. I saw Carol. I mean, the list, Room. I saw the list is endless about the incredible, amazing. There's 2 superhero films in my own personal top 25 films of 2015. Only 2. All the rest are actual real films taking place, either bios or historical dramas or fiction or science fiction, but having nothing to do with the superhero genre. I don't think we're in a glut. I think superhero films cost a lot of money to make. They're big tentpole films. We've lived in event filmmaking now for over 25 years, where the event film is the summer films, the giant blockbusters. Superhero films have just simply ratcheted over and taken the place of whatever else was happening before that. And because they're so successful, because they're so well made, that's why you see so many of them. That's all.
A bunch of people, I don't know why this topic is trending in the chat board, that people can see Ashley Mova playing a good Bond girl.
Oh, thank you.
I
I'll take
endorse
that.
it. I think
I love that.
Which Bond?
Be a great
which
Bond
Bond
girl.
would you want to be a Bond girl to?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I would love to see as the next Bond. I would love to see Bradley Cooper as the next Bond. I would love to see Bradley Cooper.
Are you getting tears in your eyes? Are your eyes welling up
so
right now?
Beautiful.
Not Jared Little.
I think Bradley Cooper could be the titular James Bond.
Very nice.
Emphasis on the tit.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.